Hello, everyone. Welcome to Power Yoga Online. My name is Byron, and today we're going to work with circular movements. So make sure you have space laterally, so there's not a wall right next to your right or next to your left. Or if there's a person, get them to scoot a little further away from you, and you'll see why pretty soon. We're going to have these gentlemen lie down on their backs, and we'll get started there. So go ahead and lie down and hug the knees into your chest. Let's take a big full breath in through the nose. And then open the mouth, let it go. One more time, big full breath in, establish. Open the mouth and release. Good. Set your left foot down on the ground. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Take a brief thread the needle pigeon as you hold the back of your left leg. So just a couple breaths here just to warm up piriformis and get a little bit of opening in the hip joint. Let's go ahead and switch. Right foot down. Cross the left ankle over your right knee. You can reach to the opening and hold your right leg, hamstring or shin. Wonderful. Release that. Bring both knees back into your chest. Reach both legs straight up to the ceiling. And cross your ankles. So let's go right ankle in front of left. Take the hands behind your head, interlace your fingers, lift your head and shoulders up. Now I want you to squeeze your ankles together until you feel your outer hips, outer legs turn on. Perfect. And then lower your legs a little bit, maybe up to halfway. Now these are 3 strong guys, so if you want to go lower than that, that's fine, but squeeze your feet together. Perfect. Now reach your arms forward, palms pressing together. And just lift your head a little bit higher for 3 counts. Squeeze the feet together, nice. 2. Now we're going to hold this. In 1, just open your legs really wide apart. Good. Reach your arms straight up, last one. And then hug the knees back into your chest. Nice job. Let's switch sides. Reach your legs up, hands behind your head, interlace your fingers, cross your opposite ankle in front. And then begin to lower your legs a little bit. Or for these guys, maybe lower them a lot. Nice. So you can feel your rib cage, your upper ribs hugging in. Reach your arms forward, palms pressing together. And just lift your head a little bit higher for 3. We're not going to relax at 0. 2. And in 1, uncross your ankles, spread the legs nice and wide, reach your arms straight up. Yes. And then rest, hug the knees back into your chest. Good job. Let's rock and roll a couple of times. Give yourself a momentum. And we'll come up into a yogi squat. Point your feet out to 10 and 2 o'clock. Make sure your heels are down. If they're not on the ground, elevate them onto a rolled up blanket or mat. Lift your chest up nice and tall. Let the inhale represent receptivity, receiving. And the exhale, giving outward. See if you can stay with that mentality as you breathe in. Applying Ujjayi breath as you breathe out. One more time. Let me hear your inhale. And let me hear your exhale. Good. Release your hands down and fold forward. Turn your feet into parallel. Just in a forward fold for a couple of breaths. First time to fold. Hang your head. Beautiful. And then step back to downward facing dog. Plant your palms and step back. Give yourself 5 breaths if you want to fidget a little bit or any of that energy that you need to move it. And I'll challenge you in today's practice to stay just as attentive to the breath in today. Inhalation just as much as exhalation. Nice. A little bend in the knees here. Wind your hips back. Get a little more spinal length. Take a nice full inhalation. Lower your knees down to the ground on your exhalation. Walk your hands back a little bit so they're under your shoulders. We're going to do some hip circles. I want you to open your right knee out to the right. You can go clockwise at first and just start to rotate the right knee. It's really from the hip joint. Yeah, kind of rotating it into the midline and back out. Good. And then switch directions a few rounds. So you can go a little bit slower. These guys tend to move a little quicker. These are strong guys. Think finesse. See if you can finesse it a little bit. I love it. Nice finesse. Now reach your right leg back. We're going to move the right leg to the left a little more, a lot more. And then set your toes down on the wood floor and look over your left shoulder. If it feels better, you can look over your right shoulder, whichever feels better. Looking for that right side body length, all the way from right shoulder head through right hip crease. Good, and then lift your right foot up, and we'll switch sides. Set your right knee next to your left, hips distance. Open the left knee out to the left. This will be counterclockwise to start. It's kind of like you're tracing a line, coloring outside the lines at first. As you guys know, a lot of my classes were a little outside the box. We do things that we're familiar with, but then we integrate new ways of doing them. See if you can stay open to the experience today. Let's go ahead and switch directions. Give yourself the opportunity to retrace the opposite way. What this is doing is it's starting to open up that outer seam of the leg, the fascia, IT band a little bit. Good, let's straighten the left leg straight back. Cross the leg over the other leg. Legs stay straight. Toes come down. Look over your right shoulder if you'd like. And this is a subtle thing. It doesn't look like much, but I guarantee you these guys are going to be doing this at home later because it's that nice. Let's pick up the left foot. Set your left knee down next to your right. Cat-cow. Inhale, look forward and arch your back. And then round your spine and tuck your chin towards your tail. Do that a few times on your own and maybe move a little more circularly, if that makes sense for your body. Maybe one shoulder at a time round. Maybe one side of your hip is a little bit pushed forward as the other pushes back. You know, since we are applying that circular movement a bit more today, you might even visit a little bit of a child's pose or a brief up dog cobra feeling. Nice, you guys. I love it. So let's come into neutral spine. Step your feet back one at a time so you're in a plank position atop of a push-up. Make sure the weight's in your legs, not just your arms. Should be a little space between each finger, index finger a bit more applied than the rest. Can you lift your right foot just a centimeter off the ground? Keep the elements of plank. Nice. Bring the right knee to your right elbow. Maybe extend the right leg straight out to the side. That's a little much for me, but you might want it. Come back to plank. Set your right foot down next to left. Lift your left foot just a little bit off the ground. Nice. And then left knee, left elbow. You can try to straighten the leg if you want a little more intensity. You come back to plank pose and put a little bend in your elbows, just a little one. And then on an exhale, downward facing dog, push your hips back. Wonderful. Lift your right leg back this time. We call that a three-legged dog. And then bring the right knee to your right elbow just for the exhale. Inhale, lift your right leg back. And then knee to nose this time. Step your right foot between your hands, just a little to the right. Lower your left knee down and raise your arms up. You can untuck your back toes. Yes, so any stylized arm position you're comfortable with here. We just want to feel the superficial front line of your body start to open. That's the top of your left foot, all the way through the knee, the front of your left thigh, your front hip, maybe even up through your belly if you're lucky, your chest. Give it one more inhale, maybe look up and release your hands down to the floor. Tuck your back toes under for runner's lunge. Lift your back knee up. Now listen, keep your right foot where it is. I want you to cross your ankles. So you're going to step your left foot forward, but cross the left ankle behind your right ankle, front of your mat. Yeah, just like that. And then take an inhale, halfway lift. I would have a little bend in the knees. You don't have to. Fold forward on your exhale. And then with a little bend in the knees, let's stand up and sweep the arms up and over the head. And then right away, fold forward on your exhale. This is where it gets a little bit sneaky, a little different. Put your hands down on the floor. If not, use your 2 blocks. If you're at home and you don't have blocks, use 2 books. Swing your right leg way out to the right. This is the circular movement, way out. Now you're going to cross that right leg behind your left leg, maybe about a foot back. Then you're going to swing your left leg way out to the left in a big circle. And you're going to cross the left ankle behind your right. Give about 6 to 12 inches between each step. And then basically do that until you're in down dog. Yeah. Nice, Larry. Beautiful. Nice big circles. And if you get there a little early, just take down dog. Hang your head, drive your hips back. The idea is we want to move slow enough to feel every little movement. But since we have a 30-minute time frame for this class, not so slow that we don't get to the rest of the practice. These guys are in dog. Let's shift forward to plank position on the inhale. And then let's take at least 3 counts to lower to the belly. 3, slowly. 2. And in 1, lie all the way on the belly, untuck your toes, swing the hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, if possible, and then pull the knuckles back. Lift your body off the ground. Less about height, more about length. So a lot of us have that sticky fascia congested in the chest area. See if you can even it out. That's all we're looking to do with fascia, is spread it evenly around the muscles. Cactus your arms, so we'll stay up. Just release the interlacing of your fingers and bow your elbows back. Maybe pull your hands a little bit higher. Let's take an inhalation and then release everything down. Child's pose. Push the hips to your heels. Soften the forehead down to the ground. Child's pose. And we'll just take it right to down dog. Inhale, hands and knees, tuck your toes. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Lift your left leg back on your inhale. Left knee, left elbow on your exhale. Excellent. Inhale, lift your left leg back. And then knee to nose, step your left foot forward, front of your mat. Drop your right knee down, untuck your toes, and raise your arms all the way up. So you'll feel more of the superficial front line of your body if you just press your right leg into the ground more. Nice. And then those of you that like to look up and lean back, that's just because it feels good. Not because some dumb instructor said to do it. Last inhale. Release your hands down to the ground as you exhale. Tuck your right toes and lift your right knee off the ground. Good. Now we'll do that same step forward. Ankles will be crossed. So your right ankle comes behind your left ankle. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. And soften the knees as you stand up. Sweep your arms up and over your head. Awesome. Forward bend on your exhale. Hinge all the way down. Hands on floor, maybe on blocks. Swing your left leg way out to the left. Take a big circle. Cross your left ankle behind your right. Take at least 4 steps, maybe more, to come all the way to down dog. At least 4. I would probably do 6. Yeah, we have a couple guys in here with gymnastics background, so they're making this look elegant. That's a great thing. Graceful, elegant, yet powerful. All right, so once you're back in your down dog, let's take it back into plank position on the inhalation. Take 3 counts to lower to your belly. 3, 2, 1. Land very softly. Hands behind you. One more time to interlace the fingers. Pull your knuckles back and lift your body up. Feel the back of your head elongate. That means chin might draw down. Good, we'll stay up, but cactus your arms, goalpost your arms, pull the elbows to your midline, and maybe lift your hands a little bit higher. We'll take our last inhale. Release everything down, child's pose, hips to heels, soften your forehead down. And let's come right into downward facing dog. Inhale, hands and knees, tuck your toes, raise your hips up and back. So let's add a little bit to that. Lift your right leg back on your inhale. Right knee, right tricep, maybe with a straight leg. Inhale, lift your right leg behind. And then knee to nose, crescent pose. Step your right foot forward and raise your arms all the way up. So we'll stay on the ball of the back foot. Good. Now lean forward about halfway. Put your hands on the floor or your blocks. Step your left foot behind your right foot, front of your mat. Halfway lift on your inhale. Nice, you guys. Forward fold on your exhale. Stand up and sweep your arms up higher than before. And then folding over your legs on your exhale. Let's just take 2 steps this time. Swing your right leg way out to the side. Yeah, circular movements. Just take 2 or 3 steps. Just kind of coming back to it with less. Nice. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank position. This time your choice, chaturanga or the floor. Start to lower down. Cobra or upward facing dog, yogi's choice. Downward facing dog on your exhale. Raise your left leg back on your inhale. Left knee, left tricep, maybe with a straight leg. Inhale, raise your left leg behind. A knee to the third eye. Crescent pose, step forward, reach your arms all the way up above. And then take your time, but do lean forward with a little bit of love. Put your hands down, either blocks or floor. Step your right foot behind your left foot. Last time to do this. Inhale, long spine. And exhale, fold in. Stand up, sweep your arms up and over your head. Nice. And then fold over bent knees on your exhale. Last time to circle here. Circle your left leg way out to the left. Just take 2 to 4, just less than we did before. Yes. Good. And then we'll find our downward facing dog. From here, vinyasa, forward to plank pose on your inhalation. With integrity, lower down on your exhale. With sensitivity, open up, stretch your spine. Down dog exhale, blending body, breath, and mind. Let's come back to the breath. Take a full breath in through your nose. Open the mouth, let it go. Let's just do one salutation. Lift your heels high. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Step, float, or fly your feet to the front of your mat. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, fold for depth. And then we'll stand up and sweep the arms up and over the head. And this time, let's connect the hands to the heart center. Good. Inhale, reach up, look up, maybe lean back on this one. Forward bend on your exhale, hinge from your hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine, fingertips or shins. And then you can step to plank or maybe float back to chaturanga. If you go to plank, lower down, elbows in. Good. Cobra or upward facing dog, like you're surfing oxygen. Down dog, exhale. Nice job, gentlemen. Let's walk the hands back to the feet so we're at the back of the mat. Let's keep the feet hips distance for now. Make the heels heavier. Bend your knees a full 90 degrees and reach to the front of the room. Look straight down. So it's not quite chair pose. It's a variation of chair. Nice. And then just apply a little bit of feet pressing down and out. So you feel that same outer hip area start to tense. Good. We'll swing the hands behind our backs, interlace the fingers and fold forward. Lift the hands away from your spine. And the legs are as straight as you want them to be here. Yeah, check out your universal joint. That's your neck. It has freedom there. Good. Let's do this once more. Bend your knees about 90 degrees. Reach to the front of the room. Look down and pull your hips away from your fingertips. Apply the pressure of your feet down and out for today. And then we're here for just one more breath. Good. Swing the hands behind you. Interlock the fingers and fold forward. See if you can let something go. Physically, metaphysically. Wonderful. Release your hands down. Heel toe your feet closer together. They might touch for more of a traditional chair pose. Utkatasana. Sink your hips down. Raise your arms up. Nice. So the biggest difference here, you're using a little more back strength to lift your chest higher off your thighs. Trying to discipline the pelvis so you don't just stick your butt way, way out. These guys are great at it. Let's take one more breath. Stand up. Pull the hands to your heart. All right, let's place the hands to the hips. We'll continue. Step your right foot forward, pretty big step. Turn to the left. Make sure your feet are parallel. And then open your arms to the sides. We'll take what's called reverse prayer. So hands behind the back. If you guys at home can't bring the palms together, just hold your opposite elbows. It's much more conducive. So opposite elbows or palms together. Start to lean forward. Hinge from your waist. Let's talk about the inner thighs, the core. Press your big toe down. Notice how that firms your inner thigh a little bit more. I'm always trying to firm the inner thigh, but not the back of the knee. I'm going to be a little bit cautious with the back of the knee. Legs never have to be fully straight, not once. But the core runs all the way from the inner heel up through the inner thigh and groin into your actual abdominals, then up through your chest, your sternum, and your throat. Release your hands down. Just give it a halfway lift on your inhale. And then fold forward for 3 breaths. It's the only time we'll be in this shape today, so enjoy it. Should feel nice. Good. We're going to heel toe the feet closer together until they're about 1 meter apart. Goddess pose. Pivot your feet out to 10 and 2 o'clock, maybe more. Bend your knees a lot. Place the hands on your inner thighs. And just do a couple of these shoulder dips. So you can look to the back of the room, dip your right shoulder down. Nice. And then switch and drop your left shoulder, look to the right. Nice, and then come back to center and just reach your arms up. That'll make your legs work a little bit more. It's a safe position to hold for as long as you want. So maybe hit pause at home and come back to it when you're ready. And let's unpause it. Stand all the way up, hands to your heart, and then hands to your hips. Look to the front of the room, step up to the front of your yoga mat. Bring the feet back together, come into chair pose. Bend the knees, sink down, reach your arms up, and then forward fold on your exhale. Good, now the ankles aren't crossed this time. That's okay, we're gonna come back to circular movement. Open your left leg way out to the left, just one step back. So drop step your left foot to the back of the mat with your back heel flat. Side angle pose, right hand to the inside of your foot, reach your left arm up. You can always place your forearm on your thigh if you need to modify. Press your feet down, come up to warrior two. Awesome, think a little deeper, turn your right palm up. Inhale, reversed warrior. Back to side angle on your exhale. So maybe forearm to thigh, maybe hand to the floor, left arm to the front of the room. One time back to reverse warrior on an inhale. Nice, and then downward facing dog. Go to plank first. So windmill your hands down. Go to plank first and lower slowly. Inhale, open up chest, heart, lung. And then downward facing dog on your exhale. Good, raise your heels right away. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, or lightly jump to the front of your mat. Nice, inhale, lengthen your spine. And then fold forward, we'll do 2 chair poses, back to back, bend the knees, sink down, raise your arms. And then stand up, hands to your heart. Well done, back to chair pose, round 2, it's still round 1. Forward fold, we have to do the other side. Inhale, lengthen the spine. This time you'll swing the right leg way out to the right, just one big circle. The right foot lands at the back of your mat with the back foot flat. Make sure your left foot's forward, Larry. Good, left hand to the inside, right arm up. Good, warrior two, press all the way up. Left palm up, inhale, reverse warrior, take an extra breath. What are the chances you have 2 Larrys in one class out of 3 people? Side angle pose, forearm to thigh, reach your right arm over your ear. Inhale, back to reverse warrior, sweep it back. Wonderful, plank pose, windmill your hands down and step back. Lower down slowly. Inhale, feel the rhythm, feel the flow, open up. Down dog on the exhale, so no rest here. Just raise your heels up. One more round, inhale, bend the knees, walk, step, or jump lightly front of your mat. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Fold on your exhale, we'll come back to chair. Sink the hips down, raise your arm. Stand up, hands to your heart. Good, nice job. Back to chair pose on your inhale. Forward fold on your exhale. Go ahead and find a halfway lift. Hands are down. We're going to swing that left leg out to the left. One big step back. Side angle pose. Right hand down, left arm up. Press up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior, sweep it up and back. Exhale, side angle pose. Inhale, reverse warrior, breathing through your nose. Plank on your exhale, windmill your hands down, step back and lower slow. Inhale, open up, a little light cardio. Down dog exhale, no rest. Raise your heels up. Inhale, bend your knees, walk, step, or lightly jump. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Fold in for depth. Last chairs today, bend the knees, sink down, reach it up. And then stand up, hands to your heart. Right back to chair pose, breathe in. Forward bend on your exhale. Swing your right leg way out to the right, get a nice long spine. One big step back, back heel flat. Right arm's coming up high. Press into warrior two when you're ready. Left palm up, reverse warrior, nice and steady. Side angle pose, forearm to leg or hand down, right arm forward. Inhale, last reverse warrior, sweep it back. Plank on your exhale, windmill your hands down, step back and lower down. Elbows in tight. And then cobra or up dog, which feels most right. Down dog, exhale, steady breath, steady mind. Let's take another full breath together. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through your mouth. All right, last standing poses today. Lift your right leg back. Bend the knee and open your hip this time. Yeah, just like that. Right knee, left elbow under your body and across. Now hold it. I want you to extend your right leg way off to the side. Reach your left arm up. And then you're going to spin that inner back heel flat. Nice. Maybe you'll lift your hips just a little higher. Do it with the strength of your shoulder girdle. Nice. Left hand down, knee to nose, crescent pose. We've been here before. Step your right foot forward. Raise your arms all the way up. Nice. These guys are making it look easy. You might need to take a little more time with this transition. Put the right hand on your right hip. Keep your left arm up. Just start to lean forward, right? So we're leaning forward. We're trying to pull the right hip back. You might eyeball your block. Put your left hand on the floor. Lift your left leg up. The block could go underneath your left hand. It's very common to use that in this pose. Reach your right arm up as high as it'll go. Twisting half moon. Yes, a little bend in that standing knee might be helpful. Put your right hand down first and hang your head. And then set your left foot down next to your right. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Fold forward on your exhale. Back to chair pose. I lied. There's a couple more of these. Good. Hold your chair this time. So I want you to cross your left leg over your right. Think eagle legs. Think eagle legs. Yeah, you're still on that right leg. I know it's a lot. Eagle arms. Wrap your right arm underneath your left arm. Some of you guys at home might get the right ankle behind the left calf. Now, can you lean forward? Maybe halfway. It's up to you. How far do you want to take this? Don't worry about falling. I actually would prefer it if one of these guys would fall to make it a little more relatable. It's a difficult pose to hold. Now, here's the fun part. I want you to untangle your arms, right hand down to the block or the floor. Reach your left arm up. Circle your left leg out to the left. Without setting it down, come into half moon pose, half moon. Yes, like we've been flirting with this pose the whole time. If you want to add any hot sauce or fancy variations to this, like catching your foot or whatever it is, closing your eyes, all that's relative to your experience. Just want you to stay focused with your breathing. Good. Bring both hands to the ground. Square your hips. Just take a big drop step with your left foot, back of your mat. Left foot to the back of your mat. Drop your left knee down and straighten your right leg. Yeah, you might want to push the right heel about a foot in front of you if that feels awkward. Just enjoy a nice stretch. If you feel like you have a little more to explore, take an extra inhale to lengthen the spine. And then you can fold in a little bit deeper. We're just here for a few breaths. Trying to get into the medial hamstring. There's 4 muscles in your hamstring. We don't use them all as much as we do the middle one, but try to focus right on that center area. How do you do that? By pressing the center of your heel down or foot. Good. Nice, you guys. Bend your right knee. Let's meet back in downward facing dog. Last standing side of today's shorter practice. Raise your left leg back, bend your left knee and open your hip, left hip above your right. Yeah, and then left knee, right elbow. So it starts with a twist here. Now you can hold that, or we call it fallen triangle. Reach your right arm up, spin the inner heel flat, the back heel, reach your right arm higher and higher. Extend your left leg, extend it. Shoot that left leg across the room. Super. Right hand down, left knee to your nose for crescent pose. Step your left foot forward and raise your arms up. Now we want to keep that left hip stable, so put the left hand on your left hip, right arm stays up. And as you lean forward, feel the left hip draw back. Lean forward about halfway. Again, if you want to use your block, look at your block. Otherwise, as you lean forward, lift your back leg up, put your right hand on the floor, about 14 inches in front of your toes, a little to the right. Reach your left arm up and take your big twist. So there's no weight on the right leg. So you can really straighten that right leg, because since it's not dangerous. Nice, you're here for another breath. Open that left chest a little bit more. And then set your left hand on the floor. Hang your head. One more juicy inhale. And set your right foot next to your left. Halfway lift on your inhale. Forward bend on your exhale. This is your last chair, I promise this time. Bend your knees, sink your hips lower, reach your arms higher. Cross your right leg over your left. Yes. Now you want to modify, you can always have your right toes down. Otherwise, second tuck. Wrap your left arm underneath your right arm. Eagle arms, Garudasana, and start to lean forward. This one's all about your nervous system. All right? Try not to run away from it. Try not to fight through it either. Just breathe through it. Whatever happens, happens. Now we want to untangle the eagle arms first, right? So left hand comes towards the ground or block, right arm up, and then circle the right leg way out and eventually back for half moon. Yes. Nice. And then you're in your last standing pose of your practice. Take a moment just to be here, just to appreciate the body's work. Yeah, some of you caught the foot, all that good stuff is there. Nice. Let's put both hands down, square your right hip level to your left. Take that big drop step of your right foot back of your mat. Lower your right knee down and straighten your left leg. Half splits. And again, I like to push my left heel a bit forward. I have longer legs than the average person, but it seems to help. And then can you just come back for a moment to the receptivity, the inhalation? So one of my mentors, Mark Whitwell, he's around 80 years old. He's one of the gurus out there. He's constantly talking about the style of yoga, the stylizing, the hand positions, the fancy foot positions, the sexiness of yoga. Now we're constantly inundated with information telling us what's cool or sexy. Let's come into our last down dog. Bend your left knee and step back. Go ahead and jump through to lie on your back, or just drop your knees down to the ground, cross your ankles, sit down, lie down onto your back. And bring the knees into your chest for a moment. Last couple of poses here we'll do together. Set your feet down hips distance apart, bridge pose. Lift your hips up. So for instance, bridge pose, there's so many hand positions to stylize. Which one's most useful to you? Traditionally, it's taught by holding the edges of your mat with your hands. That way you can get your shoulders under you. And then we found out that interlaced fingers might be more helpful. But as you see Larry practicing, we call that robot arms, with the fingers up, the elbows down. But again, my guru says it's not supposed to be stylized or sexy. However, yoga is completely sexual. And what he means by that is the inhale, the exhale, the receptivity, the giving, the receiving, realizing the biological nature and the inclusiveness, just like we're plants, practicing photosynthesis. Last few breaths, if you want to press up into a taller back bend, now's the time. You could plant your palms next to your ears and press all the way up. Let's give it one last breath in and release everything down. Beautiful. Hug the knees into your chest. Take a happy baby pose. Hold the outer edges of your feet. If it feels nice, you could rock subtly side to side. A little massage to the lumbars, sacrum, tail. Good. Set your left foot down. Remember, thread the needle. Don't do that. But cross your right leg over your left leg all the way, more like eagle. But don't worry about the second tuck. Hold your ankles. Right hand holds left ankle and vice versa. Yeah. So if you can get those knees all the way together here, you'll be in good shape. Yeah. Yeah. So like that, except let's take this hand, grab that foot. Yeah. And then I want you to do this. I want you to push your knees forward instead of pulling them towards you. Curl the feet all the way down to the ground. Pull them though, pull those feet. Yeah, so it's the outer edges of your feet down. Yes, that's fine. And then you're looking for the front body to get a little bit more involved here. Yes. Nice. Good. And then let's release the feet, keep the cross and twist. Drop your knees to the left And open your right arm to the right. If you need to uncross your legs, that's completely fine. So after about 40 days out of the country and talking to some very interesting Balinese people, everybody there will tell you they've been doing yoga their whole lives. Even the children will say, yes, I've been doing yoga my whole life. Come back to center, uncross your legs, cross the opposite way, left leg over right. Hold your opposite ankles first, and you could just stay with pulling the feet out. Or if you have the overhand grip, you can move your knees forward and tuck the feet underneath you, kind of like a lotus pose. But what's interesting is that very few of these locals even know what down dog is or child's pose. Yet they've been doing yoga their whole life. This is because they view yoga as helping others. Helping others is yoga. I was told my job now is to integrate my yoga, or Western yoga, healthy yoga for a healthy mind, healthy body, into their yoga. Helping others. Let's take our twist. Drop your knees to the right. Open your left arm out to the left. Final spinal twist. Nice job. Let's come back to center. Hug the knees in. Let's prepare for Savasana. First, curl your nose to your knees. Give a little bit of tension. Take a massive inhale. Receptivity. Hold it in for 3, 2, and in 1, release the knees and rest all the way down onto your back. Let your palms turn up. Settle your body. Close the eyes. And just a couple moments of your day. 0 responsibility. Just feel. Just be. A moment to rub your fingers against your thumb. And just feel that original blueprint. Those little grooves in your fingers. Then in your own style, you can reach your arms over your head. And take a moment to come all the way up into a final seated position. No rush. You're always welcome to stay right where you are. And we'll close the practice. If you're seated, hands together in front of your heart, bow your chin. Let's take a full breath in through the nose. Let me hear the Ujjayi breath. Apply that Ujjayi breath to one Om. Take a full breath in. Namaste.